afternoon, everyone. It's your boy Shad Talks Grabs, and we are back for another installment of the Wrestling Republic Daily Broadcast. And it's Tuesday. You know what that means, man. It is time for us to review Monday Night Raw. Last night we had a different Monday Night Raw, the first Raw that only lasted 2 hours, man. We're going through these little 2 hour episodes going into January on the last few months of USA on Monday nights, and who knows, man? We'll see what happens when we get to Netflix, but there's a big debate in regards to people liking it, people disliking it. Me as an old man, I liked it because I get to go to bed early because I have to wake up pretty early for work, so I was able to catch it and then go to sleep at a timely manner. Um, Hello to you, also number one Superfly. How you doing, my guy? But let's introduce our panel today. Same crew as always, and we're gonna start it with my dog Jordy in the bank. What's going on? And also, I just want to ask, how do you feel about the new time slot as well? While we have you here.
I'm a bit of an old man myself, to be fair, Shad. I'm not too much younger than yourself. So, and obviously I'm in the UK, so it starts at 1 o'clock in the morning over here. So in that sense, I'm thankful. I think there is work to do. I think there was a couple of teething problems, maybe in kind of. I liked some of the production aspects, some of the way that kind of each segment kind of fed almost seamlessly onto the next. I just think they need to refine it. Um, but yeah, I don't think it's a bad thing for me either, mate. Like you're saying, it finishes at 10 for you. It finishes at like 3 in the morning for me, and I'm still happy. So yeah, I think I'm happy for it. I think I am. I think let's go with it. See how it goes. It's too soon to tell. Um, give us a month or so, and then I might start craving them 3 hour shows back. But right now, I think it's a safe move.
Nah, and I feel that. And also, there is a person missing right now. If y'all didn't notice, Chaos is kind of having a little bit of technical difficulties, but he should be on the show in a second. But we're gonna start the show without him and get to him when he does get here. But I agree. It's a case where, like you said, I think there is some bit of it's the first episode of Monday Night Raw in years that it was 2 hours. I
Mhm.
think the framework of the roster is relatively bigger for Raw. So, but that's also tied to them being a 3 hour show. So I think they're used to it. And I feel like you said, pacing and stuff, it definitely affected this episode. Very much a mixed bag. I think there was some great stuff, and I think there was some bad stuff as well. Um, yes, this is very true. His tech issues are the true everlasting relationship. I hope my marriage is as strong as the technical difficulties that Chaos has,
Yeah.
because me and my wife will be happy for an eternity if that's the case.
Yeah.
Oh man, salute to the bro Kafaske. I don't know if I'm saying your name wrong, honestly. Also, bro, you can phonically type it out for me. I will make sure to say it correctly. But he said 2 hours is fine, but I don't think they need everyone interrupting each other to cut the time. I agree. The commercial breaks made a lot of an impact on the episode too, because they put a lot of picture in pictures during matches, uh, and it I feel like it affected some of the match quality. But um, let's start the show, man. Let's get to the first topic, and the first topic at hand is our Intercontinental Championship match: Jay Uso versus Xavier Woods. These two guys are not shy of having history with each other. It seems like the Usos and the New Day are soulmates when it comes to rivalries, when it comes to feuds. Two of the best tag teams of the history of WWE and in professional wrestling. So them, coming in having a singles match for a singles title was interesting to me. These are two different versions of the characters as well, man. We got
Hmm.
main event Jay Uso, rightfully so, new IC champ, hot commodity in WWE versus this new kind of weary, fed up version of Xavier Woods. And the match to me was solid. It did its job. like I also just said before, I think a lot of the commercial breaks were tied into this match as well. So it kind
Hmm.
of took away a little bit of the match quality. Um, so it did its purpose, but solid match. The key factor are two things that happened post match. One, Kofi Kingston dapping up Jay Uso and Xavier Woods getting mad about that, not thrilled about it. And then the surprise attack from a former IC champ, Braun Breaker, uh, coming around, just hitting him with a spear, then spearing Kofi because Kofi's trying to help him out, then spearing Xavier Woods. So, my question to not only you, but also Chaos. What's going on, bro? Say hi to the fans.
Hello, can y'all hear me?
Yes, we
Hey!
technical difficulties
There is
are
a
For now.
God.
For now,
Oh my
touch
God.
wood.
you came
Whew,
into the you
yeah.
came at the right time. My question to let's start with Jordy. What are your thoughts in regards to the two storylines more so anything? Obviously, you can talk the match if you liked it or not, but Braun Breaker getting back into the IC picture. Do you like it or do you dislike it? And how do you feel about everything tied with this Xavier Woods storyline as well?
I think it was a interesting match going into it, the way that they kind of strung it together with Jay offering the shot to Kofi, Kofi kind of giving Xavier the shot. With the match itself, it was solid. Nothing that I wouldn't expect from these two. See, that's the thing. Being in the UK, you guys get picture in picture during the ads. I just get ads. So, like, it felt like not abrupt, but kind of a short match. To me, that was the kind of first inkling that we were on a 2-hour episode of Raw. And I was like, oh, I feel like that would have gone a bit longer if it was last week. But it was what it was. Obviously, it was the outcomes that they're the talking points. Quick mention for Jey Uso sticking his tongue out when he did the Uso splash. That's gonna get printed on a t-shirt. I guarantee you. Everything that man does right now is a meme. He's like, I saw someone comparing it to Lightning McQueen when he in the air going over the finish line, and I just thought it was hilarious. So quick shout out for that. But I agree very much with Ben and what he said in Allison Analysis. I have to say it's a strange thing what they've done with Braun. I can destroy everyone. No, I can't. Oh yeah, I can. Oh no, I can't. Oh, I'm a good guy now because I've realised I can't just destroy everyone. Oh, I'm a bad guy again. It just feels clunky. I don't know. It feels something just feels a little bit off about it. It doesn't feel like the kind of nice synchronized storytelling that we're used to in WWE. So I don't know. I obviously we see how it goes. These two will be able to put on great matches. I don't dispute that. It's a great chance with Jay being as over as he is, the babyface that he is right now. It's a great chance to make Braun a bad guy and make people really not like him because right now, although he's a heel, people were still barking along with him. And maybe it's a way to you send him after the guy that everyone really likes, and maybe people that it'll start to turn into boos rather than people barking along with him. Maybe that's the thought. But Xavier and Kofi, man, I want to see the split happen. It feels like it's been going on forever. Like if you're gonna do it at this point a little bit. Because right now I still care a bit, but we're getting towards that point. If you last a couple more weeks, I don't think I'm gonna care anymore, which is strange because like I do care about them both, but it's like I just do something. At the moment, we're just treading water. It's like, oh yeah, we get it, you're falling out, but like, what's the outcome? Where are we headed? I really don't know where we're headed with it. Because I think if they were going to break, they would have done it by now. But yeah, strange one. But like I say, good match, good match. Just confused by the avenues where we're going after it.
And I feel that. And I did watch the Allison analysis this morning while I was drinking my morning cup of coffee. But I think that's more the news thing, whatever. You know, he got his little slogans or whatever he says. Um, I don't know, man. I don't necessarily. I hear what you and him are saying, but I also don't have a problem with it because I still think it kind of goes back to the big picture of who Braun Breaker is.
Mm-hmm.
He is young and he is just he's over cocky, overzealous, and he lets his energy and pride get to him. And I feel like it's a telling story that we run into these roadblocks consistently. And I know it's considered 50-50 booking. I know that's the main thing, right? But it's worked for him. It's been like that in NXT. He had this same 50-50 type of booking with the Dolph Ziggler storyline. We've seen it kind of go into the initial uh brought up with him on the main roster as well. And as long as he, comes back with vengeance and with an extra battery in his back, I think it works for him. I don't know. Maybe it is kind of similar to that story. And that's also the fact that I feel like it's one of those, it's them listening to the crowd, knowing that Jey Uso deserves that moment too. So I don't necessarily have as much of a problem of it. I don't think he's like dead in the water. As some
Oh
people
no, me neither.
um,
No, not. It's more. I don't have an issue with even Jay winning the title or him coming back. I just think you could have skipped his appearance last week, and the first time we'd seen him after Jay winning was him coming back this week and just spearing through him. I just don't think last week was needed. It's not necessarily him losing the title. I agree with you there. I think give Jay the moment. There's not necessarily a massive issue with that. It was
sure.
the face tease really that confused me.
No, I feel that we have a lot of comments in this. Salute to all of y'all. I'm gonna try to get as many as I can. We got DC Warlord saying Xavier might go solo and Braun versus Jay in a 3 stages of hell match. I swear to God, y'all. I feel like I've heard this 3 stages of hell match been like
Every week I hear
Long
someone
overdue.
say it.
It's long
yeah,
overdue.
yeah. We put that for every storyline, but who knows? That would kind of be crazy. Arav also says Xavier is a good wrestler, but he's not that good for a singles run now. I don't know. I
I
don't
don't
know.
agree with that.
No, me neither.
I don't agree with that too. I actually think he is making that storyline intriguing and interesting to me because I'm kind of man. Maybe I'm just a bad guy because I feel him. I don't disagree with him at all. It's like Kofi, what you dapping him up for after he just beat me in a match? You're supposed to be my man's. Why aren't you locked in type of situation? And it comes with intrigue for me, man. I feel like he has the potential. We've seen him do good stuff, and I feel like it's a good opportunity to allow him to do something different. So I'm not mad at it. Um, we also got the homie, as he phonetically spelled his name. It is Kafkaske. He says Chaos has finally made it. And to that, I open the panel to you, Chaos, because I'm going to ask you the same question. What are your thoughts in regards to both of these storylines that we saw happen? What do you feel about Braun coming back into the IC picture? And how do you feel about the potential Xavier Woods, Kofi Kingston dynamic that we're getting right now?
Okay. Let me start off with the Braun situation. Um, I saw what Ben Allison said on his reel, and I'm sorry. I know you're the boss, and you're probably not going to see me on here for a while because of what I'm going to say. But he is talking out of his ass. I don't see what the issue is with I'm glad that they're going down this route. They're sticking against him in heel. I don't think it's them one of the ones where they try to test something out and they got cold feet and then they reverting back to it. This kind of reminds me of what's that saying? Never let your enemy know your next move. Like, remember that trend where people were doing random stuff, and it was like, never let them know your next move. That's how I kind of place this with Braun. He knew what he was doing from the get go. Sure, obviously, you can say it was a face tease, and but I even said last week when all that happened, I hope they weren't turning him face because he's not ready. There's so much stuff, so much potential for him as a heel, and they're just getting started. So yeah, I felt like this was all part of his plan, and it's it's refreshing. So you always get always so brainwashed, as in the if once the champion loses his title, the heel comes in and he's coming up with his excuses, or he goes and attacks the new champ afterwards and runs him down, that kind of stuff. This was a refreshing take. Obviously, it's a bit confusing when he was eyeing up Gunther's world championship. I understand that, but yeah, the way they kind of went around this is pretty fitting. I have no issues with it. And it's because there's still a lot of gas for if they bringing him instead of going chasing for the World Heavyweight Championship immediately and going for the IC title, then yeah, there's a lot of gas left in there because yeah, it was just it just ended it too abruptly. But that's what I feel. So I don't think they're turning him into the next Ryback or whatever. Like that was way too far. It was he had an excuse. He had an argument, and he just completely just fell flat. I'm talking about Ben Allison when he said about don't turn him into Ryback, but I digress. The match itself, Jey Uso versus Xavier Woods, was fine. It kind of ended kind of a bit fast, in my opinion. It was, it was start. I felt it was starting to get a bit momentum, and then it just kind of just ended. I thought they, the way they were building this up, especially with the possible outcome regarding Xavier Woods turning fully heel. I thought it could have been a bit of a longer match, but it was fun for what it was. I'm sorry, Jordy, I don't agree that this thing is starting to lose interest. I feel like in order for this breakup to happen, you gotta give respect to how long and how legendary the New Day has been around. I just researched; they've been around. They were first formed July 21st, 2014. That is 10 years, like just over 10 years, and you can't just make them just break up just suddenly. You want this to be a full, make it mean something. So I think that they're building up for it to be a big breakup. It's gonna happen. But yeah, I think they just giving respect to the longevity and the legacy of the New Day. I don't think it's gonna be one of them ones where it's the Hardys where they start beefing and in a couple of years they're reuniting. I think they're really looking to build this up for it to be a final like New Day's done type of thing. So yeah, it's I'm fine with the pacing. It's still interesting, the way they're going around it. But yeah, I agree with you, Shad, as well. Like Kofi was a bit of a simp right there. Why you dapping up the guy that when I'm trying to win the championship, everyone's winning championships. The most accolade I got as a King of the Ring was barely even lasted a couple months. So yeah, I understand that, but I'm intrigued, and I'm happy that Braun is still staying heel and going for the IC championship, because that gives Jey Uso something to do. So that's my whole take.
And I agree. And sorry, Jordy, you're kind of you're at odds in this argument today.
It is what it is, lads.
But no. In all honesty, though, like, because I think to Chaos's point, it's got to be a slow burn, and it's intriguing. Like, I haven't lost interest in it. Like, I honestly, this is one of my favorite storylines going on in WWE at the moment, just because it's so different and it is pulling our heartstrings. And once it happens, we're gonna be like, I might shed a tear, bro. Like,
see, this is where I agree, but I'm like, is it different? What did you guys think was going to happen last night? Did you think that Kofi was going to do something that was going to annoy Xavier, and then Xavier was going to get annoyed? Like, do you know what I mean? So like, it's not. Last week was different. The Rey Mysterio thing was different. That is like Xavier and his morals being like, oh no, we literally see him, and it's like it's almost like the dark side of the force is creeping in. It's like, oh, I like that. It got me the result I needed.
But then continually happen every week, and it's like it happened yesterday, and it's one of those cases where it's hard to hate your brother. That's his brother.
Shaking, and to be fair, he's shaking the hand. He's shaking the hand of the guy that gifted them the title shot. Like, he came to Kofi and said, "Do you want a shot?" And Kofi went, "Xavier, you have it." So
that's
like,
the ops. You gonna dap up the ops? Come on.
Once the bell rings, bro. Once the bell rings between two baby faces, which they are right now, how often do we see a handshake between them? How often?
Nah, man. I'm not
all the time.
That's your man's though. That's between competitors, not your. He's being all buddy, like, oh yeah, man, good stuff, Jay, good win. Like, nah,
it's not like he turned on the turnbuckle and started yeeting with him, bro. It's like he just shook his hand, Like, that's a sportsman.
If Xavier didn't stop it, he probably would. And then he wanted to save the day. He's being Captain Saver. I can't say that word, man. He pulling a Drake. You know what I'm saying? But we could probably talk about that topic all show. But I hear what you're saying. This is the beauty, man. We're gonna get to see these storylines progress. What we're not gonna see progress, because I think yesterday was the blow off to it, was a Donnybrook match. Sheamus versus the artist formerly known as Butch, aka the Bruiserweight, Pete Dunne. Funny story, my wife is like, what is wrong with that man's hair? When she saw Pete Dunne, she's like, what did he do to his hair to make his hairstyle like that? and I laughed because I never really paid attention to it until she said that. But man, they definitely had a banger of a bout, as it says on the topics, and very good match, man. I just gotta say, the white noise from the barrel to the tables, amazing spot, man. WWE has had some incredible table spots these last couple of days. So power to those guys from the Mia Yim trash spot, the powerbomb to Chelsea, to this one, creative and super clean. But
Or the
Sheamus
Chelsea
comes out.
spot, Money in the Bank.
Yeah, that
Mhm.
one. Oh, yeah, that one. I said it on Twitter. I think Chelsea Green got like two of the best table spots this year on
Mhm.
those, man. Like them joints was she knows how to like, and she sells it amazingly. But man, this was a really great match. And with that being said, there's also debates and controversy that people are having because people are saying that they feel bad for Pete Dunne because the finish of the match is Sheamus winning while his hands are zip tied to the back of his hands. And we had a little bit of a discussion about it in our general chat. I personally don't have an issue with it. I thought it was creative, it was different, and I thought this was one of the better Donnybrook matches where all the props were used to like in a creative manner than rather it just being for an aesthetic. But I'm gonna ask you, Chaos, what are your thoughts in regards to the match, and also, do you feel like Pete Dunne got done dirty? That was a bar.
Um, I'm in two minds regarding this situation with Pete Dunne because uh it all depends on what's going to happen with the aftermath. Is he going to fade in the background and he's going to be on WWE Speed, or can he just go for someone else? I do hope that this is the it's now done, and he can move on to something else. But yeah, if this was the final match, what a way to cap it off. I mean, like you said, this felt like a proper like Donnybrook match. They actually used the props and whatnot, and it's not just being an aesthetic. It's up there with the Viking rules matches. To be fair, and yeah, man, it was it's weird. It's like regarding Pete Dunne, he's tried all these different underhanded tricks, and it doesn't make him look a bit foolish, a bit stupid at times. And it all depends on what's going to come on after. This is one of these situations. What are you going to do with this, with both guys, especially not just Pete Dunne but Sheamus? There's got to be an end game, and obviously, if they're both going to fall into obscurity, then that's when we gotta raise some questions. Um, but yeah, I mean the match was epic. Like you said, it was great. The table spot that looked brutal. I don't think there was any way you could try and pad that out, or find a sweet spot. Like Pete Dunne, like he got crushed by Sheamus. Like Sheamus ain't no
Mhm.
lightweight. You know what I mean? So I know he is sore. He's gonna be sore for the next couple of days. But yeah, the zip side thing was it was interesting. And yeah, it does make him look a bit stupid. I can see both arguments, but yeah, this situation, it all depends on what they're going to do afterwards. If you don't see Pete Dunne for a while, or you're going to see him on main event and stuff, then that's when we're going to start being like, okay, you pretty much buried him. But he's one of Triple H's guys, so surely you must protect him somehow. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's for what it was great. This is one of them special situations where do we go from now for both of them? Then we can obviously dissect it afterwards. But yeah, as for right now, yeah, I'm happy with the outcome.
And I agree. I think it is a wait and see situation. Raw's
Is
mid
Tyler
card title.
Is Tyler Bates still injured? What's
Yeah,
his
he's out for a
situation?
while.
Yeah,
Is he out for a while? I wondered if he was
he
coming back, and that was
I think he got like an Achilles injury. He got a pretty
Something like that.
major injury. Yeah,
damn.
he's gonna be out for like a little close to a year. So
Yeah.
I'm
speedy
damn.
recovery to him. But I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. Like I love Tyler Bate, and I like the New Catch Republic stuff and whatnot. Like
Dead
Pete
name,
Dunne
by the
is
way. Sorry, but yeah.
yeah. But Pete Dunne is like really one of them ones as a single star. Like if you remember the NXT UK stuff, NXT stuff, like that dude is hella talented, bro. And he could be a staple, just plug and play in the mid card picture out the gate. Like I would like to see him and Jey Uso have a storyline and feud for the IC title like type of situation. You know,
Yeah.
like he's one of those guys. Like he can be a solid heel.
I
He's
wonder if
been-
he'll reinvent himself, because like the whole thing about taking out people's hands and taking out the fingers, he just got
love
beat
it.
by someone who, but I do too, but he just got beat by someone who has the hands tied. So it's like, well, that ain't working anymore, brother. So maybe he's going to come back with a new something. I don't know, but it's just odd that was the way they did it. The guy that specializes in taking out people's joints and knuckles didn't even matter when someone had them tied together because he'll still beat you. But
Nah,
there you go.
and I feel that we got a couple comments, a couple good ones too. Arav saying Sheamus should have a singles title run again. He made it. He made it for. He is a great wrestler. He only has bangers. I definitely agree. I think the Intercontinental title will be won at some point because that is just the last one he hasn't had yet. And I think that's going to be a special moment for him. But we were
He's
talking
running
about
out
it
of time,
earlier,
though.
too.
He's running out of time. He's
Just
like,
signed he just signed the contract. So
oh, did he? Oh, my bad.
yeah,
Okay, cool. Fair enough.
yeah, he said it on the on the McAfee show. I think that he re-signed. So,
Oh, damn.
Manzano saying honestly, wrestling fans overusing the word buried. We have a lack of patience to see what happens after a person takes a loss. I
true.
agree 1,000% with you on that, dude. Like that's such a valid point. But it is what can you do?
We're so used to like things happen so haphazardly under the old regime, so it's got to take a time for people to adjust.
It's a generational thing as well, I think, because like that whole thing, he's fallen off, he fell off.
Yeah.
It's like that, but in wrestling, isn't it? It's just like he's just lost one match. Like, no, he's still getting booked every weekend. Like people say about Finn Balor, and he's like been one of the main people on Raw for the past 12 months. And it's like,
he's had many. He just had a match in a
exactly.
But let me do one thing real quick before we get to these last two topics, and that's talk about our sponsor, and that is our good friends at Progress Wrestling. Demand Progress Plus. If you use the code Watch Progress, you are able to get 50% off your first month of Demand Progress Plus, the home of Progress, Defy, and much more. Let me tell y'all something. This is me honestly saying as a straight shooter. Progress Wrestling is one of the most fun wrestling promotions out there. We've had such a blast having the opportunity to do play-by-play and watch reviews of the shows that they've had. And man, you are getting so much content of a very strong promotion that's happening now with the shows that they're having. The talents like Rio, Luke Jacobs, Kid Lycos, man like Doris. But you got an extensive history of a lot of people that were in there prior, a lot of legends that were wrestling in the UK scene as well. A lot of people that were killing it out there in Defy, like a Darby Allin, like a Swerve. So it is not a bad deal. 50% off, a hell of a lot of content. I highly advise y'all go ahead and do that. It helps them. It helps us, man. And y'all keep supporting, man. We got to support professional wrestling that is outside of these big companies, because companies like Progress are the pipeline that gives us today's big time stars that we're talking about on this review show. So, like a Pete Dunne. But let's get to this next topic, man, because this was the fear that I and a lot of other people had going into maybe this 2-hour show. Something was gonna have to take time cut off, and it sadly was gonna be the women's division because they get an outlier amount of time. But the match that they had yesterday, a 10-woman tag team match of the heel team, PFC, and the Unholy Union versus Natalya, Kaden, Katana, Lyra, and Zelina Vega. And my goodness, this was a short match with a lot of individuals in it. 10 people matches are too much for me. My eyeballs don't know what's going on because there's so much clutter going on, and it just you're setting yourself up because the chemistry is definitely going to be bad.
You must really hate Survivor Series matches.
Well, those ones are a little different. The War Games match is a little different because they kind of slow pace and they bring in people slowly but surely. But this is just
no, not War Games. I mean the old style.
school.
Oh yeah, the old Survivor Series matches. Yeah. I mean, those ones were okay because they had the elimination factor to it. But this one was just a cluster mess. Like, I can't say that word. My bad, I was about to curse. It was a cluster mess. Like, it's just a lot going on. And we were talking about it like it's like, okay, we're gonna get all y'all TV time, but it's gonna be all in the one situation. And I don't know. I wasn't really feeling it. The only thing I liked was the fact that Lyra got the pin and she got a win finally, because I do like her a lot. But this joint was just a mess, bro. And I wasn't feeling it. Jordy, what are your thoughts on it, man? Are you in agreement with me, or were you feeling this 10-person match?
Yeah, absolute 5-star match. No, and I'm joking, but first of all, let me say the performers, the talent, the 10 women on display that were in this match. I am fans of them all individually, even some of them as a tag team. But I think WWE have been guilty of doing this thing when people come up to the main roster or they don't know what to do with a certain woman on the main roster, that they'll just throw two together in a tag team. It happens in the male division as well. We've seen it from time to time, but it seems happen a lot more in the women's division. And it seems like we've now evolved from that, because we've got 2 hours, that we've evolved into actually just throwing random tag teams together to make a 5 versus 5 match. Like, it was a mess. At first, I thought it was a tornado match at first when everyone was just fighting. I was like, oh, well, this could be a little bit interesting. But then, no, everyone lined up on the corners. Natalia did a hot tag at one point, and there was just nobody. There was no one anywhere near her. And like, the whole match just felt, it was a cluster fudge, we'll say, Shad, because we're not allowed to curse on here. But it was just a mess, and it's frustrating because, like I say, the people that were in this match, they are good, they are talented. Natalia's great. Kaden and Katana have got good chemistry together. The Unholy Union. See, there's 2 tag teams there. Let them just have a match against each other. Like, don't try and just pile everyone into this one match. Like, I thought this might have been the direction we were headed for War Games, was just these random teams thrown together. It doesn't look like we are now, because hopefully we've got it out of the way. But yeah, it really is bizarre. I wasn't a fan of it at all. I would rather them split it, so a Pure Fusion Collective are taking on a team of 3, an Unholy Union are feuding with a separate tag team of 2. Like, give us 2 separate storylines in this and make us care about it. Make them good and decent storylines, rather than just literally, it felt very much like, you're all getting TV time, but it's all together, and that's not what we want as fans. I'm pretty confident that won't be what they want as talent. So it was just a lose from every angle for me, this one. And you don't often hear me be that negative about things in wrestling, but yeah, not a fan.
Yeah, bro. I mean, I get the storyline in a sense, because Pure Fusion Collection are the bad girls in town, and they're injuring and beating up everyone. But I did it with Karrion Kross and the whatever they're called, the
the Old Testament.
the Old Testament. They are relinquished from the worst faction in professional wrestling. Karrion Kross has been doing some good stuff backstage. He had a really cool promo that was online, and I think on like the IG page. So he's cooking. So that's gone for them. I would like to crown the Pure Fusion Collection, PFC, aka the Stud Line,
Careful,
as
you might
the
get.
worst faction in professional wrestling. Congratulations, Sonya Deville. Congratulations, Zoe Stark. Congratulations, Shayna Baszler. It's nothing against you guys as individual talents, but you as a cohesive unit are the worst faction in professional wrestling. Let's give them a round of applause.
And it's
the round of applause is for Karrion Kross.
It's weird as well, because everyone's saying like this is why we need 3 hours and whatnot, but it's like, and I don't think that's really the answer. It's just that for some reason it's as if, like, as soon as they went back to 2 hours, it's as if they don't know what they're doing. But this is pretty much the same team that can do 2 hours on SmackDown, and no one complains about how, for the most part, how disjointed or if it's out of place and whatnot. It just feels piling everyone into one match. For
I
some
think
reason,
the roster's
I
bigger. That's the only thing I'll say. I think when they
But
did the
still,
draft,
I
I don't think they had this in mind. I think Raw has got a bigger roster to put on a 2-hour show. But I don't disagree that we could well have seen this 5 versus 5 match on a 3-hour show. Like that could have happened 100%. That's not just because it's a 2-hour show. You can't just blame that at all.
To Jordy's part and to your part, too, Chaos. I would rather just see storylines with less people that make sense to it.
Mhm.
Like, like Lyra is a former NXT Women's Championship. She was killing it when they called her up. She could be a viable threat, or build her up to be a potential competitor for Liv, right? Or I even said it. We just got Raquel Rodriguez back. Why doesn't she go through some girls, get herself a little bit of merit, make herself look dominant as her heavy?
she'd rather be the chauffeur. She
rather be the
arrived and
chauffeur.
they all left again.
Yeah, they rather her be the chauffeur. Like, like I don't want to do a compare contrast, but look at how it is with AEW. Like, they've had Camille beat up on some chicks, making it, and Mercedes just standing over there laughing, clapping around. You could have Raquel wrestle Zelina Vega, wrestle Katana Chance, Natty, and get some merit, some stains, make her look dominant again, because she ain't looking that good after what she did on Saturday. I ain't gonna lie.
No pop. No pop.
No pop.
Nobody could see it. That what was it? Couldn't hear the bell over the silence.
Jeez. All right. Anyways, man, I respect to the ladies. Respect to Lyra. She got to win, and she got to see Tatum Paxley.
Did she? Who won? Sorry, my bad. That was too easy.
All right, let's get to the last topic at hand. And it was the main event. I hate to break it to y'all, man. Goldberg did not pop out and ruin the match. We're not getting Goldberg and Gunther in Saudi at Crown Jewel. Instead, we are going to get Gunther versus Cody Rhodes, because Gunther retained in a very, very, very good match between Sami Zayn in the main event. I liked it. Of course, I was rooting for Sami because I'm biased and he's my favorite wrestler. But I did think Gunther was going to win this match. Dominant, continuation of what we've seen in his reign, man. And I think it was very important for him, because back of his head, he knew that till yesterday, that was the guy who had his number, the Achilles heel. So I do like that standpoint. So, Gunther retains. I'm cool with that. And we're getting Gunther versus Cody, champ versus champ, for that, lovely Saudi Arabia belt that they gave, that looks like that's a long belt, man. That joint.
That was the WWF Heavyweight Championship belt. That's what it was. Just bedazzled.
But I'll ask y'all, man. I'll open the panel to it. What are your thoughts on the main event, and what are your excitement levels for Cody versus Gunther? We'll kick it off to you first, Chaos.
Oh boy. Okay. All right. So wow. Are you good, bro?
Yeah, I'm trying to.
I'm waiting for what's going on.
There it is.
You good? Nah,
what's my TV time?
No pop.
No pop. No, it's lost my train of thought. Yeah, the whole match was fine for what it was. Very hard hitting. Typical Gunther match, what you would expect from him. Sami Zayn being the underdog and given that possibility that he might create and cause an upset. And it was fun. I actually called it that that Sami Zayn was going to win it, especially with the situation with Gunther and Goldberg at Bad Blood. But yeah, after all that, he didn't show up. Gunther retained, so it makes me wonder what was the point of having him there in the first place. What was the point of having him in showing up? And it's just absolutely just, it just makes it whole redundant, because maybe it's because we kind of saw the writing on the wall, and with the Bad Blood, 100%. I was expecting him to do what Goldberg. I was expecting Goldberg to do what he did to Brock Lesnar against Eddie Guerrero. He interferes, takes out the big guy, and then the underdog wins. We saw it at No Way Out 2004. I thought he was gonna get that situation again, but no, he didn't. He just stayed at home and collected his check. So maybe he shows up at Saudi. You know, they love the legends over there. But yeah, it's I'm happy for Gunther. I'm glad because I outright said Gunther should win. He needs to get his revenge back from his loss to Sammy, because he's the only blip on and that's the whole story. He's afraid, like, what if I can't do it? What if he's my Achilles heel? What if he's my kryptonite? And that's why he was just delaying it until he eventually gave in to to his challenge. But yeah, Gunther had to get his win back against him. And yeah, so I'm happy with the match. The match with him against Cody, I don't care. I'm sorry. This just stinks of when it was brand versus brand again. And I thought it was long dead and gone from that era now. But they had to force it in somewhere. Maybe it wasn't to their it wasn't their idea. Like, we saw Triple H's face. He, like, the level of disinterested on his face, it just spoke levels. He does not care for this situation. He wants it to be done and over for at least 12 months. But yeah, we're here now. I'm sure the match will be fine. But my hype level, I do not care for Cody versus Gunther. And I should, but the implications and what they're fighting for it makes it whole redundant. Like, it's just dumb. I hate it. So yeah, that's my whole thought on that.
I hate the situation that it is, right? Like, I'm excited for Cody versus Gunther in a situation where it's for an actual title, where it's an actual rivalry in the feud. Like, to your point, this is very much like, it's like the NBA All-Star game, the NFL Pro Bowl, right? This is just like an exhibition. This is for a paper
and it's weird as well.
championship.
It's weird as well because they started to make Crown Jewel kind of mean something, or like have like big main events. They started to get away from that, that variety theme, like when they first started it, and now it looks like they're just going back into that again. Where it's
they had like a women's elimination chamber match for like the number one contender that one time, didn't they?
Yeah, was that Crown Jewel, or what's the other Saudi show they do?
One of those Saudi shows.
Because they did twice. What's the other one that they do?
Oh, how's my brain gone blank?
It's not Super Showdown. It's
no,
they
didn't. They did Night of Champions this year, but it was something.
Oh, it's King and Queen of the Ring. That's that.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
But I know there was two in Saudi, unless they do Crown Jewel twice. I can't remember, but yeah, I know what you mean though. They started to get moved like away from the variety feel, and then it's going back straight back into it, and it's pointless. But
yeah, I'm not feeling it. Jordy, I ask you the same thing, man. What are your thoughts on the main event, and are you in excitement for this match?
I'd rather go back to the start and talk about Jey Uso and Xavier Woods again, mate. In all honesty, it's not, and it's just annoying because you want the first feud and the first fight between these two to be something that really matters, and it just doesn't. And like, I don't know how you're gonna make that belt matter. Make it look nicer for one. Then make people, like, imagine if they'd have put a winged eagle on it or something. You know what I mean? Then it's like, oh, maybe someone would have wanted it. Like, no one wants that. Like, especially, and I mentioned this, it might have just been in the chat, but the Gunther, I think it might have been when we were doing the watch along, but like, the Gunther that I kind of know, the Gunther that didn't even wear the crown of the King of the Ring, he won't want that belt. It's nothing. Like, he would look at that and be like, why would I want that? That doesn't mean anything. Like, and you're not going to make me care about this one, I don't think. I really think they'll struggle. And going to what you said, Chaos, changing it from that kind of variety performance, it's like it started to head back that way, but no one really noticed it when they did Logan Paul versus Cody, but Logan's belt wasn't on the line. And we kind of gave it a pass, but no one was really happy about it. It was very much similar. It was very much Cody's. Well, I don't know who's necessarily going to win this one, so it's not so much that. But that time it was Cody's going to win. Like, look, he's not going to lose his belt. Logan's isn't on the line. The only thing that was making it a bit interesting, it was like, is Cody going to be a double champ at the end of this? But then they took that out of it, and it was like, well, who cares then? I'm sure it'll be a good match, but we all know how it's going to go down. With this one, it could be something to do with KO. Obviously, they're dealing with it internally, so I'm not going to bring it up. I'm not going to say too much. Could be Goldberg. Could be a Goldberg running at Crown Jewel. I don't know. Don't care in a way, but I'm sure it will be a good match between these two. It's down to these guys now to really make me care about this fight. Gunther and Cody are probably the two people that could. Maybe Roman and Seth as well, and Punk. You know what I mean? There's a certain caliber of people that could make me care about a match. But if I care about the match, it's nothing to do with the title that's on the line. It's just because I care about the story that they're telling us, I think.
It's going to be overbooked as shit, isn't it? Oh, sorry.
No, but you've got the beeper. You've got the beeper.
I know. I felt so comfortable. Sorry. It's going to be overbooked as hell. That's what I'm fearing as well.
Demonetized.
It definitely is, man. But we'll have to wait and see. But that's all the time we have for today, man. Thanks to everybody in the comments, man. Y'all been great. Thanks to y'all too again. And we'll be back same time tomorrow for the daily. We're back tonight. NXT off the air. Randy Orton versus Javon Evans. It should be fun. And of course, Chaos's favorite rapper is hosting, Sexy Red. Y'all have a good evening.
You.
Deuces.